Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show.
I don't know how or why, but this morning I woke up and I thought, I better check that non-disclosure agreement, see what the fuck I signed up for. And I think I'm in the clear. I don't know why I even woke up wanting to, I know it was weird. It's like maybe I had a dream or something. I'm talking about that non-disclosure I signed for PT Domination. And I read through it myself, and because of all the, the, whatever you call it, the law, jargon, and that's the right word, just all the words and the terminology and all that stuff, it's hard for me to comprehend what the fuck I'm reading, because sentences are like, if so-and-so is entitled to, but not limited to, under the following circumstances, but also in and other, all right, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch, sentences they're sentences, but there's 300 commas, and there's 300 different and, or, if, buts, So I put it through ChatGPT, and I had it give me a thorough breakdown of everything. And I said, use plain English, concise language, be very, very thorough, do a deep analysis of everything. And I just feel like there's so much gray area. The one thing that I wanted to make sure of was that whatever I'm building, it's not their property. And in which case, to what I guess ChatGPT pumped back out for me, and to what I read myself, I don't think that's the case, unless I use their information. But what I'm building has nothing to do with fitness. It's a human, it tracks money, and it tracks where a person is at in a process of a business. Fitness, FedEx, architecture, whatever, it could be anything. So I feel very confident in that regard, and I started building this and doing all this before I was even hired with PT Domination, because was that true? I don't know. Well, I started using it. I started building this for Mina, and wasn't for anybody else. And I don't know. I just, dude, what a nightmare it would be to make this and finally be good, and then have some horseshit happen to where it's like, oh, hey, you can't do that. You're marketing to my client. That's, you built this system, blah, 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 The thing also said I can't be a competitor or try to sell services that would compete with PT Dom. And I was like, well, absolutely not. I'm selling a goddamn spreadsheet to help them with their fitness, with their clients and stuff. So that's not a thing. The one thing that it did say, which is, you got to be careful, dude, is it says I can't I can't solicit or poach or any of that stuff to current clients or students or employees, whatever, of PT Domination, which I thought was fine. However, how is that true when I'm doing work for Mina and Dawson and Trey? And when I posted it in the group chat, I said, hey, the first one, that's how I got Dawson and Trey. I said, hey, if anybody need an operations guy, blah, blah, blah. So that was fine. He even liked the comment. But then when I asked a question like, hey, what's everybody doing? How many clients you have, how many teammates you have? That's a no-no question. So I don't know. I just don't like being under any kind of contract, because this is indefinite. It's a non-disclosure. So unless it comes out and they say that I can start saying whatever I want to say, or doing whatever, then I'm under this contract, But what was I going to say? This non-soliciting thing, like I can't message anybody else or whatever. That is only for a year, so that's cool. Dude, I don't know. It's just it's kind of spooky. I would just hate to build this out, get everything finalized, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, you can't because you built that's ours. In which case I would just fucking delete it and take any charges. I'm petty that way. Like I would, if I built this out and they were like, oh, sorry, you can't give that to anybody else, that's ours because you built it when you were here or whatever. I don't think that would ever happen. But if they did, I would just fucking delete everything. I'd light my MacBook on fire. I would do all that and I'd say, okay, I'll go to jail. I'll pay whatever fees you want, bro. You're not getting my shit, pussy. That's the kind of petty I am. So that's what we would be doing. But I don't think that'll ever be a problem. I don't believe things just escalate straight to court like that. I think it's you get the cease and desist of like, hey, or if that's even the right terminology, like, hey, you violated the shit, remove it right now or else, and then you take care of it, and then it's like, hey, don't be a bitch, you're no longer part of PT Dom, whatever. I don't know. In which case, a year from there, I'd be good to. So anyway, I don't know why. I must have had a shitty dream, but I woke up and I was like, yeah, I better make sure we're good here. And I think I'm fine. I think I'm just trying to make sure. You know what it is? I think it was yesterday when I was talking about how I'm glad not a lot of people listen to the show right now because I'm sharing a lot of information. At least it feels that way. Because somebody fluent in Notion and somebody who has a good idea about fitness coaching metrics and stuff like that. I guess that's just a general CRM for business owners. They could just take everything I'm saying and, I'm not saying details like I have this formula, this is the formula. Like I'm not saying that stuff, but you could absolutely figure it out. So unless somebody comes along like that, I think I'm in the clear, but it's just still like, I feel like I'm onto something, dude, This is great. And I don't want to fumble the bag here. So, but I'll tell you what, dude, if we just played this out, like let's say everything went to shit, I could take this same system, the same model, and I could reach out to different businesses and offer to help them out. So excluding all things fitness, fitness businesses, I could go, I could do a lot. I could go to gyms. I could do, dude, I've had this thought about doing FedEx, if I could make some kind of Notion hub for the FedEx contractors, see if they'd be down for that. Pretty much any job or any position that uses spreadsheets pretty heavily, I could replace that. And I think the selling point there is that obviously you can just go get ClickUp or you can get Asana or you can get Monday, whatever. You can get these different softwares that are already doing this stuff. But Notion offers the 100,000 billion % customization and personalization to the specific industry or job. Like for example, I can add more columns, I can remove columns, I can change the name, I can move things around, I can make buttons that populate this, and I can make things, put this over here, and I can, with some of these other platforms, it's just very straight up, like here's your leads, we have all these pre-made columns, track it here. It's like, what if I don't want to track that, Well, you're fucked. So I'm sure I could do that. I'm not going to say I'm not worried, but it is kind of a spooky thought, just, spending a full year working on something, and then all of a sudden, you're out. So truthfully speaking, I think when, I'm not even in contract, but they probably got a notification that I even viewed the goddamn NDA, because that's how that shit works. Probably got a notification that I downloaded it, the audit paper trail shit. So I'm sure that raises a red flag, because in the middle of nowhere, why the fuck does somebody want to read the NDA, Like for real, like if we're not bullshitting, why would you ever want to read an NDA? You're never just like, I'm curious what I signed 3 months ago. It's always like, am I good? Can I do this? I don't know. Maybe I'm exposing myself, but yeah, I just want to make sure I'm good. So, I don't know. I'm confident though, because I'm doing shit for Mina. I'm doing shit for Dawson. I'm doing shit for Trey. Dawson is VIP with Brian and Cole. Brian and Cole said I'm a tank with this stuff. Maybe they meant spreadsheets, I don't know. But if Dawson is part of VIP, that means he paid $50,000 to be in a tight, close-knit circle with Brian and Cole, which means probably knows that I work for him at $30 an hour. And if Brian can see that it's not coming out of his payroll, which it shouldn't because I'm not doing shit for him, I'm doing it for students, then, I don't know. Just want to make sure that I'm good. And maybe I'll just let this early warning be maybe I'll let this early situation be a warning to me of just make fucking sure you are crystal clear before you sign shit. And I feel like I've had to relearn this lesson over and over again. So that's my bad, but I don't know, dude. Because I've worked 3 hours in PT Dom this month, so I'm gonna have to pay some of that the monthly dues. But yeah, as soon as, that's what I was saying. I'm not in contract by any means, but it seems like what they said was I'm gonna help them with their systems and stuff up until the renewal, up until my CLA thing expires then. And I was hopeful that they would keep me. But now I kind of want to just dip, to be honest. Unless it's just purely in. I don't know how that would work because right now I'm kind of like paying off what I owe. But what would that look like afterward? I'm just an employee or what? I probably wouldn't have access to these. Well, maybe I would. I don't know, dude. This is such a interesting situation. I feel like if I want to be smart about this, what I should do is just peace out from all things and not be related to PT Dom, not be affiliated with PT Dom at all. And then just go about my business. If somebody reaches out from PT Dom, then I'll help them because I'm not soliciting to them. They found me. So wish I was very fluent in all this law shit so that I could know just so well what was and what was not allowed. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I'm going to have more to talk about later, so I'll be back. Peace. All right, this is a phone call from somebody who wants a spreadsheet, so let's see. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
All right, so I'm Justin. Good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
So, how do you know Brian?
Well, I was in the CLA for a little bit and then decided that I'm not trying to do fitness coaching anymore. And then I just pivoted to kind of all things like data related, spreadsheets, software, like back-end systems, because I'm just a nerd with that stuff. So then he brought me onto the PT Dom team. So now I'm, I guess, I don't know, contracted through PT Dom now. So just help with stuff on the back end. But yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, it's a good contact to have, man. I'm sure you get a lot of business with all those guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of people reaching out. It's overwhelming, dude. It's pretty cool. It's a good problem to have, but.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
So what's kind of your specialty? I guess, I can give you an overview of, what I do, but I think it might be more helpful if you'd be like, Justin, here's the 5 things that I focus on and do, and then I could be like, ooh, yeah, this would be good, this would be good, this would be good.
Okay, so you said you're with Ransom Bodies. Is that your coaching business?
No. My coaching business is called Live Your 10.
Did I misread that text then?
Ransom Bodies is it's just a spreadsheet that he dropped in there for me.
I see.
I think he meant to send that to me one-on-one. But at the same time, I think that's a data collection point that I need to start doing for my clients type of deal.
Gotcha. Okay. So to answer your question, honestly, all things spreadsheet related, all the different formulas, all the different calculations as far as, customer acquisition cost, lifetime value, churn rate, like managing all your client, like all things, I guess, in that realm. On a spreadsheet, I can absolutely do. I'm trying to transfer everything to Notion with certain coaches that I'm working with. But yeah, spreadsheet, that's absolutely can help there.
Okay, cool. And is it, like management and, presentation of data analytics? Or is it like, hey, Bryson, like here's access to Trainerize, here's access to all my payments. You take the data and you pull it over and you make it look pretty. And if I'm like, hey man, like how many people do we have? How many people paid their bills? what's kind of the line that you draw?
So currently I think I'm, as far as like being part of a team, like doing kind of what you just said, I'm kind of capped out there. I have a few other coaches that I'm on their teams with, and I do that with them.
Nice.
So I'd be able to help, no problem, with like building a spreadsheet or whatever the thing is that you need. And then if you have something that I can pull the data from and copy paste in there, then I could do that. But as far as like being something that like every week I go in there and like, that wouldn't be something I can help you with. I can make the initial template though, and then whoever uses it can put the data in, if that makes sense.
God, I see what you're saying. I see. Okay. Okay. So I guess walk me through real quick, like what your, I guess, two most popular data spreadsheets that you typically have for most of your clients. Like what are the ones that you see that most of your clients look for?
Probably a client check-in compliance, and it's so straightforward. Okay. It's just like, on this date, did Bob Smith check in, and it's just, you check a box and it's straightforward. But underneath the hood, you can see all the, like, in the last week, how are they? In the last 2 weeks, in the last month, 3 months, so on and so forth. So you can kind of gauge how they've been doing over the entirety of the program. And that's probably number one. Brian, I don't know. Brian said it was too complex, so I had to hide a lot of the charts and stuff. But yeah, I'd say that's number one for sure. Second one would probably just kind of be just a very basic, client name. When did they start? When are they ending? How many days they have left? Are they active? Are they expired? And then like follow-up dates. So they can just look at that and be like, okay, I got to call this guy on June 4th or whatever.
Got it. Okay, cool. And that's where you would need somebody to go in and just like give you all that data, and then you can digest it and present it on the Google spreadsheet, right?
Yeah. I mean, for example, with PT Dom, I made a student tracker for them, and they just sent me a PDF or a spreadsheet that has like the client names and then when they started, and I just copy pasted, put it in the spreadsheet form, and then now they have people that operate that spreadsheet.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And the spreadsheet that I've had is, as it relates to like KPIs and metrics for like call bookings and stuff. And so, yeah, it's pretty basic.
Okay.
But I think, because like I've got no problem, like, making the spreadsheets and, like I know how to kind of do that stuff.
Yeah.
So your point is like it's not that challenging. I think more so what I need is somebody to like wrangle all the data and go and grab it and fill it out and at any given time be like, okay, pop into my Trainerize. Here's the 5 new clients that signed up. Pop into my payment processing. Here's the 5 people that signed up. Here's the amount of money that they're due, and then take it and put it all together. So I think based off of what you said, I'd probably have more use for you when you have more free time or more capacity on your side. To be able to pull and put together that data versus just like, oh, hey, here's the spreadsheet, because I can do that. I think I just more so need to go over all that. So yeah, just keep me posted, man, as you have some more time pop open on your availability and your bandwidth. Let me know, or if you know of any VAs or any ways to outsource that, or if you hear of anybody, let me know, because I think that would be super helpful for me.
Okay. Well, sorry, man. I wish I could. I could help with anything initial, but yeah, as far as like the ongoing like upkeep or maintenance, whatever you want to call it, I wouldn't be able to help.
No worries, my man. Appreciate the connection. I'm sure at one point in time we'll end up working with each other.
Yeah. So cool, man. Well, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, you too. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Cool, man. Quick recap. I think that was cool. I didn't take shit on that I didn't feel like I could do. And that call proved to me that I am not logging PT Dom hours for this. Brian is literally hooking me up for work. Because Brian connected us in a group chat. And my assumption is that when I do this, the hours are then clocked for PT Dom because I'm helping his students. But this call suggests that Brian linked us together for me to then work for this guy and do upkeep and maintenance and all that stuff. Because I wouldn't be doing that on Brian's dime. So that's interesting. I don't know, man. Interesting. Okay, well, that was that phone call. That's cool. I don't feel like any of these phone calls violate anything, so I'm cool with keeping these public. Hopefully none of these come back to haunt me. 10 years down the line, somebody listens and they're like, oh, hey, man, that was me. I didn't give you permission to... I don't know. I don't know how that shit works, dude, I'll be honest, but I'm not doing any harm. I'm not trying to do anything mischievous. Dude, I feel fucking just all spooked out today, huh? Goodness. Just don't want to fumble this opportunity for building something and having this be something that is able to provide for my family. And oh man, dude, spooky. I would say generally I'm a paranoid person, but I do believe that paranoia is key for survival, because if you are in the woods by yourself, being paranoid is fucking killer instinct, right? If you're just kind of all willy-nilly not giving a shit, you're going to get mauled by a bear, dude. But if you are extremely paranoid, then you're going to always be on the lookout for potential threats. So maybe that is just... Let's see. What does ChatGPT say about this? Is what instinct, or what the fuck, how do I ask this? Generally speaking, dating back to our, what's the word for that? Dating back to the hunter-gatherer days of the world, was being extremely paranoid a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know if that's the proper way to ask that question. Being extremely paranoid was generally a good thing for survival in hunter-gatherer times. I feel like the way I asked that question was in favor of what I wanted to hear, so that's some bias right there. There's me admitting the fact that there we go. Hypervigilance helped avoid predators, horrible tribes, and environmental dangers. Paranoia often translated into heightened alertness, which helped protect the tribe from ambush or betrayal. Those who survived passed on genes for heightened threat sensitivity. There's a lot of studies cited here. But too much is detrimental. Social cohesion suffers. Chronic distrust can lead to isolation or rejection by the group. Energy depletion, constant flight or flight burns valuable calories in a scarce food environment. So in balance, mild to moderate paranoia equals adaptive. Extreme chronic paranoia equals risky socially and energetically. I wouldn't say I have chronic paranoia, but I would say that I am paranoid a lot. What is the modern day definition of paranoid? It's like fear of the unknown or fear of something happening. Let's see. Having or showing irrational or persistent distrust or suspicion of others, especially the belief that people are trying to harm, deceive, or exploit you without sufficient evidence. Yeah, dude, 100%. Okay. Believes others have hidden motives, misinterprets harmless comments as threats, is overly guarded or secretive, struggles to trust even close friends or family, and may hold grudges or react defensively without cause. Some of those apply for sure. DSM-5? The fuck is this? American Psychological Association Dictionary of Psychology. Man, American Psychological Association Dictionary of Psychology? Okay. Anyway, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not doing anything that's going to fuck everything up in the future, you know? Also trying to, I like the fact that I even took that phone call, I'd like to believe that is a very tiny little itty-bitty connection that I now have in my back pocket. You know, I can call up Justin and say, hey, man, if you still need a guy, I'm your guy, whatever. Or, hey, I got this thing for you. I made this, whatever. My brain now thinks, okay, well, I don't want him to go back to Brian and then say, hey, Brian, Bryson can't help. He doesn't have time. And then Brian be like, oh, what the fuck, bro? How do you not have time? You're working for us or whatever. So, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. And I was not even expecting this. This happened 15 minutes ago. So, I got a text that said, hey, connect. Here, you get a couple seconds to chat. Yeah, cool. Here, ring, what's up? That's how that happened about 15 minutes ago. So, anyway, I'll be back. Peace. Hey, what's going on? This feels a little weird because I already recorded two snippets of this show earlier today. Both were about 10, 12 minutes long. So I feel like I'm now just starting a show, even though you guys have been listening for 20 minutes now. So anyway, what's going on? It's Thursday. Jesus. June 20. Okay. It's Thursday, June 19th, 9:57 p.m. as I record this. Today was a shit day. It's so funny because yesterday was perfect. Today was the opposite of that. And the reason for that is because I just ran into a problem with everything that I'm creating. The problem is that when I was calculating the LTV, which is the lifetime value of a client, the way that I was doing it was actually spot on for paid in full and for split pay clients, because those things are not ongoing. There's an end date and there's a fixed amount. It's one price. You only have to count one number here. With split pay, it's either 2 or 3 numbers that you have to count, but it's not infinite. It's definite, whatever the word would be. With month to month, it's ongoing. So there's no. For example, I calculate how long it's been since they joined the program, and I represent that by a number based on the month. So if they joined January 1st and it's now February 1st, that number goes to 2, because 2 would mean that they have had 2 payments come out, one on January 1st, one on February 1st. So it would say 2. And then on March 1st, it would say 3, so on and so forth. I would take that number. That would be the number that is then used in the multiplication of their monthly recurring amount to give me the total amount of money that they've paid up to today's date in the program. So if they've been in the program for a full year, then on January 1st of the next year, that would be 13 technically, because they did a full year. January 1st of the next year would be the 13th, the first payment of the new year, the 13th payment. So if it is $100 a month, that is $1,300 total, and that's fine. All that is great, and that's what I was banking on for this whole time. And then I was like, oh, I can calculate lifetime value. Okay, cool. So what I'll do, because I have paid in full, I have monthly, and I have split pay all in the same database, it doesn't make sense to separate them. Well, no. And the reason for that is because I can put everything into one view, one hub, one log. It's cleaner this way, believe it or not. And that's what I did. And because of this, I have to have, even if somebody is a paid in full, I have to have a column for month to month and split pay and all that stuff. But if somebody's month to month, then obviously everything else that's not month to month is going to be zeroed out or X'd or whatever. You don't have to worry about it. And the way that it's set up, it's clean. So I good. But the problem I ran into was that when I was calculating the LTV, lifetime value, I would run a custom formula. I'll actually, for anybody who gives any kind of a fuck right now, here you go. So it's a formula. It's one, I almost said big. It's not really that big. It's just an if formula, which is if the package is paid in full, then we're going to take the paid in full amount and we're going to put it there. Okay, next. But if the package is month to month, we're going to take the monthly recurring amount and multiply that by the month time since the start. Okay, perfect. But if it's a split payment, we're going to take the split payment, we're going to times it by the month since start, and then divide that by the split total. So however many months or however many payments that would be, we're going to do that. And if it's neither of these things, it's zero. And this is all fine, but I have a button, and when I click the button, it renews them. And how it renews them is it copies that whole entry, puts it into a renewal log, and also puts it into the financial log, because if they renewed, then that's that same client paying more money. So that's a new entry, that's a new payment, a whole new row of data in the financial log that needs to be accounted for. But when the lifetime value of the client is calculated for month to month, it still thinks, because it's linked, doesn't think, it knows, it's just how it is. So for example, if a client's in the program for 6 months, and I'm just going to speak very plainly here, for 6 months, 6 times 100, $600. If I then populate a new column, if I populate a new row because they renewed, that would mean that they're in the financial log twice. And I realize, like, whoever's listening, it's like, oh, just link them together. It's like, yeah, I fucking wish. But then that would duplicate all the formulas, because how Notion works is whatever you put into a column, every single row has to live by those rules, by the formula, by everything. So it's not like Excel where in one column I can have 1,000 different formulas. In one column, everything in that column follows the same rule. And that's one big bummer, I guess, that Notion has. Also, maybe it's not, I don't know. So if I renew Bob, he's at 6 months, that's going to be $600 if it's $100 a month. And then if I renew him, it's going to be a second entry, and because it's linked, it's going to show Bob $600, even though he just renewed. And that was the problem I was trying to solve. Because with paid in full, it's fine. If I double it, then it's fine. Because yes, the lifetime value should be $1,500 for the first one, $1,500 for the second one. Then when I put it in a chart, it groups them, and it combines that based on lifetime value, which would be $3,000. But with month to month, it would combine the lifetime value based on the start date. And because of all of this, I could not figure this out. When I would try to do one thing, it was so sloppy. And the main point here, or the main struggle, is that I'm trying to make everything simple. I could have just bypassed all of this by having somebody just type in stuff, and they type the name, how much do they pay, all that stuff. I could have made it manual entry, but I fought so hard to make this where you click a button, done. Because I think the value is in that. I think that if somebody can just go and they're done, versus, okay, what we got here? We got blah, 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 blah. Oops, I just fucked up that formula. That's so good. There we go. And they just type in a whole bunch of other shit, more shit. Got to double check how many days it, versus like that. That's what I was going for. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that I have been working on this for probably 12 straight hours. And the reason why I feel shitty about that is because I'm getting paid to build stuff for these people, for these clients. If you ask, who was I talking to? They said my clients. Was it on the phone just a second ago that you guys heard? I say just a second ago. It was like 8 hours ago for me, but on the I don't know. Somebody said my clients. Like they said to me, your clients. I don't know. But anyway, I've spent 12 hours on this shit. I don't know, whatever I just said, 10 hours, I don't know. And I just feel bad because they're paying me to do stuff. And if I work 12 hours, first of all, when they're only paying if Dawson is paying me 2 hours, but I'm working 12, still don't have anything to show for it, I just feel like that looks horrible. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm so much more paranoid. I was talking about that earlier because this is how I make money. This is my livelihood. This is my job now. Now, obviously, I've still got Hill Air Force Base money coming in, which is pretty cool. But what's really cool actually is all that Hill Air Force Base here. Okay, what the fuck happened there? All of that Hill Air Force Base money. Did I just say space? Hill Air Force Base. I'm tired. Dude, my brain is fried, dude. If you were to take an MRI of my brain, you would just see some fried rice, dude. That's how I feel. Anyway, I'm making enough money that even if I didn't have my job money, I would still be okay. Like I'd still be able to afford everything and pay stuff, and I'd be okay, which is cool. And speaking egotistically here, I'm glad that that's the case because I don't want to feel like I had a cushion necessarily, because even though that it is, I don't really think there's a way around it. It wasn't like if I didn't have it, I would have been fucked, because straight out the gate, started working for Mina for more hours, worked for PT Dom for more hours. I think I was doing that beforehand, before I quit. And then we got these 2 other people, and I think it would have been tight for a sec, actually. But now that I got money coming in, that's cool. So I'd like to think that even without this cushion of the money, I would be okay. However, I think I'm still just treating it as if I just don't have that, because if Dawson goes away and Trey goes away, let's just say, I'm stuck with Mina. Not stuck, it sounded horrible. I only have the 2 hours with Mina. I'd probably just be like, dude, I got to do at least 4. Then I'd probably have to go back to FedEx or something for the weekend. I don't know. But I just don't want that to happen. And, as hard as today was, to be honest, it's only hard because of me, because I feel like I should have gotten so much more done in that 12 hours, Because I woke up and I kind of got things going. I started, building some stuff. Then I realized, I was like, oh, wait, that doesn't add up correctly. Well, it looks like it's doubling. Oh, that's not accurate. Huh, well, let's just fix this. And then I was like, how do I change? Huh? And what did I even do? Oh, I had to make the renewal process part of the financial log, so that when I clicked the button, it stamped and did all that stuff within the financial log, so that it would change and update stuff in the financial log itself, because I was previously doing it in a different database. And when I did that, it would transfer the data. But if I wanted to change the end date to then signal to the months since start that it needs to cap out at a specific number, so that the total does not go past. Like, even just talking about it, dude, I don't even know what the problem, like, if I can't even articulate it, I don't even understand what the fucking problem was. All I know is that the lifetime value was doubling, and that's not right for month to month. Everything else was fine. And I did the thing where I was like, well, I guess we just won't do lifetime value then. And then I was really cool with that for a second. I was like, hey, fuck it. We're just going to skip that. We'll figure it out later. And then I thought, dude, I'm going to build this out knowing damn well I'm building it in a way that I'm going to have to reverse or undo or just tear down to then make lifetime value work. I'm not really trying to do that. So we're going to figure this shit out, and we're going to make it work. Now, actually thinking about it now, I wonder if it would have been more beneficial to No, it wouldn't have been. No, we're good. What the fuck was I saying? Dude, I don't know. My brain, bro. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, it was part of the now it's part of the financial log. So there's a button, and you click the button. Button. It's Utah, dude. It's funny that people say Utahns have an accent and we don't say our T's, but it's like Utah. It's not Utah. So mountains, bountiful. Anyway, dude. Now there's a button. When you click the button, it puts a line of data from that financial log into the client renewal database. It also changes the status of the payment. So, for example, if I click renew, it goes from not renewed to renewal one, and then that first entry goes from current to old, and it grays out, which is, it just signifies that that's still a valid entry. However, it's not the current client. It's not the client's current program. The one that says current is the current program. And that's just a way to scroll down to filter. And then also when I click an automation button, it will use that as part of the rules for the filters. That way I can show data and have data move around and hide itself when I do certain actions. So we've got different filters like where the end date is on or after 1 week ago, and where the end date is on or before 1 week from now, show that data. And then when I click that button, it's also going, and then in the filter, it's got the current and the old, and it's going to say current, but when I click it, it's going to move it to old because it's going to make a new one. And because it says old, it doesn't meet the criteria for the filter, so it's going to not show that anymore. So, holy fuck. Made all that. That goes to the client renewals log. That is just to see the start and end dates of each renewal for each client in one view, so you can have a paper trail. And then it also goes to renewal follow-ups database, and this is meant to be hidden because I made a fancy thing that shows 90 days out, 60 days out, 30, and 14 days out. And you can easily customize this to be however many days you want for like if a coach or a client or whatever wants to only see 60, 30, 10, I can do that. But I have it 90, 60, 30, 14. I figured that's fine, so you can change it very easily. But this populates automatically based on literally everything from the start. So that one fucking button does all this, okay? So in my head, I'm trying to map out how all of this shit works from, that's what I want it to go, and then everything that I literally just said, what did I say literally right there? No need to say that word. Everything that I just said is done. Because obviously, you can do all this in a spreadsheet, no buttons, you just type it all in, but there's no value in that. Anybody can do that. But when I make a whole system like this and it looks nice and it's automated and things come and go, hell, that's where the money's at. And even if the next 6 months, every single day was like this, I would still be cool with it because one sale a month at $5,000, I'm solid for the month. Like for me, my bills are paid and more. All that's taken care of and more. And can I do one sale a month? Yes. I probably could have had like 5 this month because I've had people reaching out. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but how do you see this and say, oh yeah, like I don't know, it's different because this is not fitness anymore. Fitness, you have to put in the work. This is fucking instant, bro. Like if you hire a coach, you're signing up to work and to go to the gym and eat right and put in effort and all this stuff. This, it's like you buy it, you have it, it's yours, you're good to go. And so I just feel like the value equation from Alex Hormozi is booming with this. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm very, very ignorant. I don't know. And like I always say, I kind of hope that I am so we capture it and we can look back. But anyway, I did all that. Now it's all linked together for the most part. Just made a form. So now when I fill out that form, it goes all the way through everything. And what I want to do is polish this off to a certain extent, make a Loom video, and then show this to Dawson, to Trey, and to Mina. Now, the shitty thing is that Trey already has data in his stuff, and Mina, to an extent, does as well. So if I want to make this work, and I think actually the best course of action to transfer the data is in my personal area, duplicate everything that I just made, and then arrange the columns so that I can just copy all the data from Trey and then put it here, and then I'm good. and then I just copy this back over there, delete everything over there, and then I'm solid. I think it's the best way to go about doing all this. So I just got to match all the columns, make sure that I'm not missing any data, and then go from there. But I'll have to make a copy of what I'm building now, match it, and then input it. Because, for example, Trey uses client types, which is online or in the gym. I'm probably not going to include that in the main thing. I think it's so uncommon that it wouldn't be. I think it would just be in the way. But anyway, I think that's the best course of action, and I'm going to try my best to get that done tomorrow. I feel like I have shit going on tomorrow. Do I? No, I don't. Dude, I'll tell you what. I've been using my calendar a lot more, and I think that's just because I have shit going on now. Like shit that I need to be aware of. You know, it's not like, oh, gym at 3 o'clock, post-workout meal 4:30, stretch 5 o'clock, read 5:30. Not like that. Like, hey, you have a Zoom call with so-and-so, you know, you got to do some work for them. You're getting paid. Get the fuck on like, be aware. And I say that, but I missed my dentist appointment the other day. That's so funny. Like, I was aware of it. My thing went off on my calendar and everything. And then all of a sudden, it's like an hour later, and I'm like, oh. It's so weird. Just I texted him, and I was like, hey, I got to reschedule. Like, cool. When works? And I was like, next month, I don't know. They gave me options. I think one of them was, can't remember what it was, but I was like, just do the next one. They said, okay, July. So now I'm going to July. Also, if you can hear this, sorry, it's this little crescent wrench. What's up, Kevin? That my grandma gave me. It's a little keychain. It's a tiny little guy. It's a fucking fidget toy. I'll die on the hill, dude. This is a little fidgety, and I've just been this screwing the little bolt, dude. But anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, if every single day was like this for the next 6 months, it would be shitty, dude. But it would all be worth it, and I would be. Yeah. So I'm very excited that I think I figured this out. I think we're good now. I'm going to run through everything tomorrow and probably talk out loud to myself and just walk myself through everything. Make sure that it works exactly how it's supposed to. Implement this. Yeah, implement this into everybody's workspace. That might be all I get done tomorrow. But then Saturday, what I'd like to do is start really hammering home the sales stuff. And I'm actually really pumped about that. I think Trey wants that, and I think Dawson wants that as well. And I got to make it for Mina, so that'll be cool. And the beauty about this is it'll be from scratch. I won't have to worry about anybody else's data. It'll be all from the tippy top. So when it's ready to go, all I do is copy, paste, and implement. And that's it. I don't have to worry about transferring data or linking things or relinking things or making sure things are lined up or making sure certain roll-up properties are pulling from the right hub. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that. It's just copy, paste, unload. That's it. And that is exciting because I was working on all this with Mina, and then Trey and Dawson joined. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Well, hold on. And I think I just got their information into the database too soon because it's so much better to build something when the data and the metrics inside are fake. And if you delete them or you screw with them or you change something, it doesn't matter. Because the amount of times that I've changed dates to see what happens if a certain date is a certain thing, if the numbers equal a different thing, if whatever. And also, in doing so, I've learned that I don't need a lot of stuff because I used to make formulas that would say if a client joined, on June 1st, that's part of the week, June 1st through June 7th. So they are part of that week of joining, and we're going to use that week itself from Sunday to Saturday to make a marker to track how many weeks in single digits they've passed since their start date. So I'm like, okay, they're in week 1, they're in week 2, they're in week 3. Same with months, same with days. Years unnecessary because just look at the last 2 numbers. And I realized that you can just do all of that automatically with charts and graphs inside of Notion. And I was like, oh shit, well that's cool, and I can clean this up. And so I did. And despite having one hell of a day, I learned a lot. And like I said yesterday, it's like the indirect learning that you get when you're trying to solve a problem, and everything you try in the process is maybe does or doesn't work, doesn't matter. But it's what you learn from trying the different things that actually helps and is beneficial long term. And something as small as this, it sounds so stupid. Something as small as just putting color-coded emojis in the headers so that I can quickly see what the fuck I'm looking at and what matches. For example, everything to do with the paid in full is blue. Everything to do with the month-to-month is green. Everything to do with split pay is red. And if I combine the two colors, that means that it applies for both. And for the LTV, it has all three colors because it's for all three of them. And it has just made everything much easier to navigate because I don't look for the words. I'm just like, hey, where's the blue thing? Oh, that's paid in full. Yep, click it. So, yeah, there's that. I think that's it. I know tomorrow's Friday. I don't have a Zoom call with Mina, though, because that was on Tuesday or Monday, whatever. Yeah, Tuesday this week. So, yeah, I think that's it. Tomorrow I'm going to work on getting this implemented in everybody's system, and that's probably going to be what I do all day. Hopefully it doesn't take me that long, but I don't know, we'll see. I want to make sure it works, and I just got to be so thorough with this shit. Also, just to go on record, and this is going to sound like so fucking silly, but I'm not the greatest at chess. I'm getting better, but I started playing chess last year in May. I've played over 1,000 games since. I think when you start out at chess.com, you start out at 500. That's your ELO. What does ELO stand for? I don't know. That's your score. Everybody starts out at 500. And because I'm so ass, I dropped down to like almost, I know for a split second I was in the hundreds, which is ass. That's so bad. But I've built myself back up to, I'm now back in the 500s. So just want to go on record and say that's still ass, but it is much better than 100. And so just for documentation purposes, I'm a 500 score chess player. And that's not a flex whatsoever. Anybody can beat me. I'm ass, but I'm learning. But I just wanted to share that. So I would like to get into the thousands. As funny as it sounds, like when I'm stressed out or whatever, like when I needed to take a break today and just rest my mind, I started playing chess, which I think is ironic because chess is a very mentally demanding game to think through and calculate moves and lines and all this stuff. Yet I just find so much joy in that. So I don't know. I would like to play chess with somebody, like face to face with the actual pieces, dude. That'd be sick. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. It was one hell of a day. It's now 10:25 p.m. And it's funny. I'm actually not tired per se. I'm actually kind of fired up that I got through this obstacle, and I want to keep going, but I got to go to bed. It's almost 11 o'clock. By the time I get all this done, I'm going to get into bed, correct my voice a little bit more. It's going to be 11 o'clock, dude. Fuck. All right, well, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We are very close to 7,000 streams, by the way. I think tomorrow we'll hit it, so that's pretty cool. Appreciate all the support. That's it, though. Thanks so much for listening. Peace.